Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Math Guy. Today we'll be looking at standard deviation. Our problem today reads, find the standard deviation of the following set of numbers. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. To find standard deviation, we have this nice, really pretty formula. It looks like this. Standard deviation equals the square root of sigma of the quantity x minus x bar squared all over n. Now you're going to say, what? How do I do this? How do I do this? That's great. The easiest way to do a problem like this is by using this nice big table like I have right here. If you look, we have different columns marked. We have a column for x. We have a column for x minus x bar. We have a column for the quantity of x minus x bar squared, which is all nice to use. This actually takes most of the grunt work away from us and makes it really easy for us to complete the problem. The first thing we have to do is take, in the column for x, we write down our entire set of numbers. So we write down 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. So we have all the numbers written down that we need. Our next column says x minus x bar. From our last lessons, we saw that x bar equals the mean. So what we have to do is go through and find the mean of all the numbers in our set. If we go through, we want to add up all these numbers and divide by how many there are. Okay, so we add up 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. We add all those up, we divide by 10. We have 10 numbers in the set. In this case, our mean, our value of x bar equals 14.3. Okay, so what we're doing in this second column right here is we're taking our value from the first column, which is our x, and we subtract our x bar, which is our mean. So in this first box, we would do something like this, 1 minus 14.3. Well, if you do it on your calculator, 1 minus 14.3, we get negative 13.3. We do the same thing for the next box. We do 1 minus 14.3. In this case, we got lucky. It's the same as negative 13.3, which is the same answer from before. The next box, we do 2 minus 14.3. This gives us an answer of negative 12.3. And we do the same thing for the entire column. To save us some time today, I'll fill the rest in for you. 3 minus 14.3 is negative 11.3. Then have negative 9.3, negative 6.3, negative 1.3. Then we go to 6.7, 19.7, and 40.7. Okay. So now if you look through, we have all the answers filled out for the second column. So we do the first column, we do the second column. Now we have a third column, we have to complete that as well. If you look, the only difference is we're squaring this box. So we have x minus x bar, which is we already found over here. We're just squaring the answer. So if you look here in this first box, we do negative 13.3 squared. This actually gives us an answer of 176.89. Okay? We go through and we square every single number in this second column. So the next box is also 176.89. Then we have 151.29. We have 127.69. We have then 86.49, 39.69, 1.69. Then we have 44.89, 388.09, then 1,656.49. Okay? Now, one thing to keep in mind, when you square these numbers in the second column, we have negatives. Remember when you square negatives, such as negative 2 squared? This is the same as, you want to write it like this, negative 2 squared. This will give us the exact answer we want, which is negative 2 times negative 2, which gives us an answer of 4. If we don't do this, our calculator, we type it in just like this, we actually get an answer of negative 4. Because it does the 2 squared first and then makes it negative. We don't want this in this problem. We want it to be done like this. So if you're going through these problems in the future, make sure you put the parentheses in. After we have all this stuff done, we have to go through and solve the last part of the problem. We go through and actually not erase the formula we need. We have this formula here. If we look at what we did in our box, we actually took care of this entire piece right there. That's what we found. We found that in this column right here. This sigma symbol that looks like a capital E actually tells us that we want to add all of these numbers in this third column together. So we go through and add all these together. It gives us an answer of 2,850.1. Okay, so that's the sum. The sum is 2,850.1. That gives us the entire top piece of this formula. Okay, we'll use the different colors since it didn't show up too well. That's the entire top piece. It says down here we want to divide this by n, so we divide by n. Okay, in these problems for standard deviation, n is simply the total number of objects that we added together. In this case, we added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things. So what we want to do is take this 2,850.1 divided by 10. When we divide this by 10, we get an answer of 285.01. Okay? The last thing we have to do to actually completely solve this problem is to divide this, not divide it, but take this square root of 285.01, take the square root of 285.01, and that gives us our standard deviation of 16.88. So for this set of numbers, we have a standard deviation of 16.88. The standard deviation pretty much allows us to see how varied the numbers are according to the mean. Thank you for tuning in to the Math Guy. Remember to check back often to see more videos by me.